On my video about pirate games, someone commented about making their own pirate game. I responded by saying that that was a cool thing and I wish I could do that. They then offered me a key that is honestly wild and I can't explain how much I appreciate that. I proceeded to not see this for 6 days because I was busy and very stupid. When I did see it, I decided to look into it a little more. And after reaching out to the creator of the game, Hedgizux, I think that is how you pronounce it, I did get the key and now we're here. I present to you Beak to Beak. Before we get into the actual review, I have to mention that for the next week the game will be 100% off on itch.io. Yes, you heard that right, you will be able to get it for free on itch.io. So go and pick up the game for yourself because nobody should pass up on a free game ever. Also, they told me that one of the best ways to support is by joining their Discord. Make sure to check the description for that as well. Now it's time for some general information about the game and then we'll start the review. The developer made this game on his own and spent 2 years working on it. And says that they will continue to work on it in the future, so that's quite nice. The game is inspired by The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, one of the best Zelda games by the way, and you can definitely see the similarities. I mean, just look at this map and the one from Wind Waker. And the pigeons really make me think of Dorito. I will explain myself in a few seconds. And there is this music boat that really reminds me of Beetle. I really think those things were intentional. You play as a chicken who wants to become a carrier pigeon. However, you have to prove yourself by doing a delivery. And that's kind of what I mean with Dorito. They're also responsible for deliveries in Wind Waker. They are essentially the post office of Hyrule, or what's left of it anyways. The post office, by the way, has this sprite of a bird, and that really reminds me of shops in Undertale. Anyways, you and your ship get absolutely fucking ruined by pirates, and apparently that's your fault? Not only did this guy watch you get bullied, he didn't even put any form of defense on the ship. And trust me, these aren't exactly the safest waters. Naturally, he immediately forces you into serious debt like he's Tom Nook or something. I'm used to it at this point. So now your new goal is to pay off your debts by doing various things. You can do other deliveries, you can fish, you can defeat pirates and so on. For deliveries, you'll have to sail to various islands to put mail in their mailboxes or knock on their door to deliver something. While you're there, you can find some other random things like a treasure chest with some fun stuff in there. Some of them have NPCs with unique side quests or shops. Some islands are very unique in shape, like a giant ball or Among Us! Others aren't even really islands, more like structures, and some even have different climates. I quite like the desert one that has a very small but unexpected 2D platformer section. I think it's important to have these kinds of small details in these sorts of games, because they not only make every island feel unique, they prevent the game from feeling repetitive and even boring sometimes. Now, this game isn't boring, but in Sea of Thieves, for example, there isn't much variation on islands except shape and like a skull in a different place or something. But then there are islands like in the Devil's Roar or the Fort of the Damned that are completely different, and that's a balance you need to find. You can clearly see that a lot of effort went in trying to make every single island different, and I think they succeeded. Then you have the fishing, which I honestly didn't do that much, but it's basically your usual fishing game. Just hold your mouse and keep it around the green, and that's how you fish. You get the fishing rod from this island that's getting patrolled by this ominous looking ship. After defeating it, you get it from a chicken that's on the island. You can also fish up planks and wood things to put on your boat with a different minigame where you have to rotate a piece to fit, and that's a fishing minigame I haven't seen before. The enemies are where things get interesting. You have a few types that can spawn. You have a few small ones that can spawn at the same time, you have a bigger one, and then you have that cruise ship looking one. And then there is this full-on pirate ship that occasionally appears from the sea and then just sinks again. I never actually managed to defeat him, so I leave it up to you guys to try. I do have one complaint about the enemies. I think they spawn a little too much to my liking. I honestly thought that I somehow bugged the game. It wasn't really disruptive, There just wasn't that much downtime to explore. You sometimes get the feeling to do things as fast as possible, and that way you don't always get to discover other things the game has to offer. And like I said, that makes that pigeon from the beginning even more of a douchebag. But the sound of them spawning is like this almost war horn, and I do like that. Another thing you can do is customize your own ship. There are many different things you can pick up and add to your ship, like more cannons, or flooring, or masts. I even found a gramophone and was able to play music while sailing. I really wanted some ambient music, and that way I was able to get it, so that was pretty nice. Another thing that I should mention is that the masts are really cool, but my brain really didn't like that I couldn't center them. I did have a very goofy complication with the game. So I'm Belgian, right? And over here we all have different keyboards for some reason. It's not that everyone has like a random combination or some shit. Your keyboards start with QWERTY, while ours start with AZERTY. I couldn't walk forward, so I had to change the language on my keyboard, and I thought that was pretty funny. I was also being fucking stupid on something else. I couldn't get it to go full screen with F11, and I thought it was locked for some reason, and that didn't work, so I tried to crop it with OBS, and that was just a huge struggle. Literally 5 minutes later I found it at options. And it wasn't even hidden in the options menu either. I was just being a fucking moron, but I thought that was worth mentioning. So, now that I've played it, I can safely say that I actually quite liked it. I quite honestly didn't really know what to fully expect, even after watching the trailer, but I was pleasantly surprised. I really expected this to be very straightforward. You go from island to island and shoot at other ships, but there were some extra things that I never thought of, and that makes you really want to continue exploring, even when the enemies don't want to leave you alone. This game is a valiant effort as a pirate/ocean exploring game, especially considering this was made by one person. I tried to make this review as honest as possible while also keeping in mind that this was made alone as an indie game. And that's what I was thinking going in, but honestly, I didn't have to keep myself back that much. This was just a solid attempt at these sorts of games, and I did enjoy this. Once again, if you want to experience this game for yourself, or want to join that Discord, you can go down to the description. I'm also in that Discord, by the way. The game will be free for an entire week on itch.io. And while you're there, itch.io is a great place to go and explore if you want to support other indie developers. So go ahead and take a look, maybe you'll find something else you like. I quickly want to thank everyone for watching this video. I cannot put into words how much I appreciate it. And with that, I bid thee farewell.